That's Buster's doing something in their storage. Good evening and welcome to our organizational council meeting for Monday, October 28th, 2024. I will call the meeting to order at 7:57 p.m. First item on the agenda, under agenda item 1.1, is the land acknowledgement. Coaldale acknowledges that we are gathered on the lands of the Blackfoot peoples of the Canadian Plains and pays respect to the Blackfoot peoples past, present, and future, while recognizing their cultural heritage, beliefs, and relationship to the land. The town of Coaldale is also Métis District 1 Foothills. Agenda item 1.2, conflict of interest declaration, pecuniary and non-pecuniary. Are there any in the room this evening? None declared. Moving on to agenda item 2.1, acceptance of the agenda for the organizational council meeting for October 28th, 2024. Are there any additions or deletions? Seeing none, could I get someone to make a motion that council adopt the organizational council meeting agenda for 28th, 2024 presented? Councillor Saylor. Any further discussion? Seeing none, I'll call the question. All in favor? Carried unanimously. Thank you. Moving down, Lana, do we have to approve the minutes from last year? I don't see that in my agenda package.
They are offered as an information item because they were approved following the last meeting from last year.
Okay, thank you. So then on to new business, agenda item 8.1, Town of Coaldale Calendar 2025. We have our Municipal Clerk, Lana Antony, presenting. Lana, whenever you're ready.
Thank you, Mayor, members of Council. I am presenting tonight on the Town of Coaldale Calendar for 2025. This is an all-encompassing calendar that includes a lot of community events that are organized by the town, as well as includes council organizational meeting and regular council meetings leading up for the full 2025 year. There was a working group that was formed that included members of council and members of staff that was decided at the regular council meeting on September 16th. And the calendar that you see before you is a compilation of those efforts from that working group. I'm happy to answer any questions, or if you wanted to go item by item or month by month. Is there a particular way that council would like to review this?
Thank you, Lana. Hopefully everybody had a time as part of their agenda package to go through the calendar, but I'll open it up for questions, comments from members of council. Deputy Mayor Chapman.
Thank you, Mayor. Just to ensure that council is aware that council meetings will continue every 3 weeks as per the calendar. So we're not going to go back to the second and fourth Mondays.
Yes, we had that discussion at the last committee of the whole meeting.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions, comments?
You're saying we're only having one council meeting, there's some two.
So the format is to continue on as we were. So we got council meetings every 3 weeks, and then we have committee of the whole meetings as well. And then, Lana, do you know how many council meetings per year versus how many committee of the whole meetings off the top of your head?
Yes. The rotation of the council meetings was, it started as every third week, and as you note that some months have two in them, and the committee of the whole was placed into those months that only have one council meeting. So in total, there are 15 council meetings, and 7 committee of the wholes.
Thank you. Any questions, comments? Deputy Mayor Chapman.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. Then through to Lana, if I may. Originally, we had talked about committees of the whole on the first Monday, so that doesn't look like it's constant. So, for example, January we have committee of the whole on the 27th instead of the 6th of January. Then we wouldn't have any committees of the whole for the month of February at all. So the next one would be in March.
The committee of the whole, in January wasn't just placed at the beginning of the month because we're coming back from Christmas break, so we wouldn't have enough time to get the agenda out for that, being that January 2nd. January 1st is a holiday. January 2nd is the day that the agenda would normally come out if that committee of the whole was on the 6th. So it was placed after the 3-week rotation of that council meeting, or sorry, in between the rotation of the council meetings there.
Okay. Yeah, fair enough. Thank you very much, Lana.
Any other questions, comments? So then, moving forward, our decision options are that council approve the Town of Coaldale 2025 calendar as proposed, or council make amendments to the 2025 calendar. Councillor Reese. Oh, I thought you were putting your hand up. Yes, go ahead, put your microphone on.
Thank you, Mayor. So then, have we decided that we're going to go forward with these committee of the whole meetings then, going forward?
Well, my understanding is that we discussed this at the last committee of the whole because we were going to be over them in October. And then we discussed at that meeting to move forward. And then you and I sat on this committee where we discussed and laid out the calendar. And again, it was decided to move it forward as a recommendation to council. So again, any questions, comments? Otherwise, I'm looking for some direction on our motion options, please.
One other question for Lana, if I may, Mayor. October 20th, that's election day. Were you thinking of putting that in there or no?
That is correct. That is election day, and I can certainly add that in. That's a great suggestion. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions, comments? I'll ask again, does anybody care to make a motion for one of the two options? I'm sorry, my microphone was off. I'm looking for direction on one of the two options. Councillor Saylor.
Thank you, Mayor. I'll go with option 1, that council approved the Town of Coaldale 2025 calendar as proposed.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Seeing none, I'll call all those in favor. Carried unanimously. Thank you. Moving on to agenda item 8.2, the council committee appointments for 2024 and 2025. Again, our municipal clerk, Lana Antony, is presenting. Lana, when you're ready.
Thank you, Mayor and members of council. The staff report before you is the council committee appointments. Every year, council members are presented with all of the committees and boards that participates on. And although the original committees and boards were decided at the October 25th, 2021 regular council meeting at the beginning of the council term, it is an option for council to review them all each year and to decide if there's any amendments that they would like to see happen at those for the appointments to those committees. Would it be suitable to go through the line by line for each committee and board, or I'm happy to answer any questions that council may have before we do that or throughout.
Thank you, Lana. If it's okay, I'll go through the list that you printed off, and then we'll ask if the current council member is still interested in staying on, and if not, if anybody wants to take that position. And if anybody is looking towards a committee that they really want to be on, that they're currently on, this is your time to mention that as well. So going through the list, the first one is the Alberta Birds of Prey Foundation. Currently, our council committee member is Councillor Reese and myself as alternate. Councillor Reese, do you want to leave your name on that committee?
Yes.
Is there anybody else that wants to take that spot? Okay, Councillor Reese will stay on. And unless somebody else wants to be the alternate, I'll stay on as well. Okay, I shall stay on as the alternate for the Alberta of Prey Foundation. The Assessment Review Board, that's going to be something that's new, and we need 2 members of council, 3 to 5 citizen members. So since this is a brand new board, does anyone want to put their name forth to sit on that committee? Deputy Mayor Chapman wants to be on that? Okay. Anybody else wants to be the second council member? I'll let mine on that one. The Barons Eureka Warner FS, currently we have Councillor as our council rep on that one. Councillor Chapman, do you want to let your name stand? Anybody else want to be on that committee? Thank you. Councillor Chapman, Maine. Bylaw Appeal Committee, all of council. The CAO Personnel Committee, that's all of council. Moving on to the Chinook Arch Library Board, we currently have Councillor Saylor as the council representative and Councillor Beek as the alternate. Saylor, do you want to leave your name for that one? Councillor Saylor is in agreement to leaving his name stand. Does anybody else want to have that seat? Councillor Beekman, you want as the alternate? Thank you. So Councillor Saylor is the main contact, and then Councillor Beekman is the alternate. Citizens on Patrol, we have Councillor Chapman as the committee or council representative. Councillor or Deputy Mayor Chapman, you want that one? Anybody else want to let their name for Citizens on Patrol? Councillor Chapman, thank you very much. Coaldale and District Chamber of Commerce, currently we have Councillor as the representative. Do you want to stay on that one? Anybody else want to let their name stand for the Chamber of Commerce? Thank you, Councillor Saylor. You're still on as our rep, and Councillor Chapman, you're okay with that? Thank you. Coaldale and District Handy Ride Association. Currently we have Councillor Chapman as council rep. Do you want to let your name stand on that one? Anybody else want to put their name forward on that one? Councillor Chapman, thank you very much. Coaldale Library Board. Currently we have Councillor Beekman as the council representative. Do you want to let your name stand? Councillor Beekman agrees to let his name stand. Does anybody else want to put their name forward? Seeing none, Councillor Beekman, thank you. Coaldale and Regional Pet and Animal Wellness Society. Currently, we have Councillor Reese as the council representative on that one. Do you want to let your name stand for that one?
No, thank you.
Councillor Reese declines. Does anybody else want to put their name forward for the Coaldale Regional Pet and Animal Wellness Society? Councillor Avery. Does anybody else want to put their name forward? Okay, thank you. Councillor Avery, just a question for our municipal clerk. Do we need an alternate for this board?
They did not request that in their original terms of reference, but if council would like to name an alternate, I'd be happy to pass that on.
Can I be the alternate? Okay, I'll put my name forward for the alternate. Community Futures, Lethbridge Region. Currently, we have Councillor Saylor as our council representative. Councillor Saylor, you want to let your name stand on that one? Does anybody else want to put their name forward? Thank you, Councillor Saylor. County of Lethbridge Community Learning Council. Currently, Councillor Saylor is our council representative on that one. Do you want to let your name stand for that one? Councillor Saylor said he would let his name stand. Anybody else interested in that position? Thank you, Councillor Saylor. The Emergency Advisory Committee. Currently, we have Councillor Reese as our council rep. Do you want to let your name stand?
Yes.
Councillor Reese wants to let her name stand. Does anybody else want to join that committee? Thank you, Councillor Reese. Moving on to the Gem of the West Museum Board. Currently, we have Councillor Pickering as our representative. Would you like to let your name stand?
Yes.
Anybody else interested in the Gem of the West? Thank you, Councillor Pickering. Moving on to Green Acres Foundation Board. There's going to be a motion regarding our citizen member for that one, Roger Holm, coming up. He wants to let his name stand. Moving on to the Highway 3 Twinning Development Association, we have Councillor Chapman as our rep. Do you want to let your name stand? Anybody else interested in Highway 3? Thank you, Councillor or Deputy Mayor Chapman. The Joint Emergency Services Committee. Currently, we have myself, Councillor Beekman, and Councillor Avery. Councillor Beekman, Councillor Avery, will let your name stand? Anybody else interested in this committee? I'll let my name stand as well. Thank you. And Councillor Reese is still the alternate. Moving on to the Joint Intermunicipal Development Planning Committee. On that particular board, we have myself, Councillor Beekman, Councillor Avery, and alternate Councillor Chapman. Councillor Beekman and Avery, you want to let your name stand? Thank you. I'll let my name stand as well. And Councillor Chapman, you're okay as alternate?
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone. And last, we have, no, not quite last, we have Lethbridge Regional Water Services Commission. Currently, we have Councillor Chapman and Councillor Pickering as our reps. Councillor Pickering, you're okay? Councillor Chapman, you're okay? Anybody else want to be on that committee? Seeing none, thank you, Deputy Mayor Chapman and Councillor Pickering. The only reason I'm making mistakes about the Deputy Mayor is Lana's writing. Moving on to the Link Regional Pathway Committee. I am the council rep for that, and I would be willing to let my name stand and Councillor Chapman is the alternate. Anybody else interested in the Link Pathway? Councillor Chapman, you're okay as staying on as alternate? Thank you. Moving on to the Malloy Drain Steering Committee. Currently, we have Councillor Pickering and myself and Councillor Beekman as the alternate. Councillor Pickering, you want to let your name stand? I'm willing to let my name stand, and unless Councillor Beekman wants to move up, or you want to stay on as alternate. Okay, so that will stay the status quo. And the Mayors and Reeves of Southwest Alberta, myself obviously is on there, and the Deputy Mayor's alternate, which is Deputy Mayor Chapman, that'll stay the same. Then we have the Municipal Planning Commission. We have myself, Councillor Pickering, and Councillor Avery. Do the both of you want to stay on? Okay, and I also let my name stand as well, unless there's somebody else dying to be on the Municipal Planning Commission. Okay, thank you. And then the Police Advisory Committee. This is going to be a new committee that we have to have up and running, I believe, by the end of March. There's a requirement for 2 members of council. Does anybody want to put their name forth for that one? The days of the week or the times have not been set yet. So anybody wish to put their names forward? Okay, so Councillor Beekman, Councillor Avery, would you be okay with an alternate? Okay, so Councillor Beekman, Councillor Avery, and Deputy Mayor Chapman as the alternate. Thank you. And then further up the agenda, we're going to have another motion regarding the Southern Alberta Energy from Waste Association. Our citizen member Kim Craig has agreed to let his name stand for that, so that'll be coming back. And then we have the Southern Alberta Canadier Association. Currently, Councillor Chapman is our council rep on that one. Do you want to leave your name stand, Deputy Mayor Chapman? Anybody else care to put their name forward? Okay, Deputy Mayor Chapman stays on. Thank you. The Southern Regional Stormwater Management Committee. Currently, we have Councillor Pickering as our rep. Do you want to let your name stand? Councillor Pickering wants his name to stand. Is there anybody else interested? Okay, thank you, Councillor Pickering. Southborough, currently our member is Councillor Pickering, and we don't have an alternate for that one. I thought Deputy Mayor Chapman was the alternate.
On behalf of Highway 3.
Okay. Councillor Pickering, why don't you let your name stand? Anybody else interested? Thank you, Councillor Pickering. And last, the Subdivision Development and Appeal Board. Currently, we have Councillor Chapman and we have Councillor Beekman. Would the 2 of you let your name stand?
Yes, please.
But you put your microphone on, please.
Currently, the Subdivision and Development Appeal Board's been operating with 1 council member and then 1 as an alternate. And we discussed earlier that we'd keep myself as the standing member and Councillor Chapman as the alternate to have everything fall in line.
Thank you. So then Councillor Beekman will be primary and Councillor or Deputy Mayor Chapman will be the alternate for the Subdivision Development and Appeal Board. Okay, thank you for that, everyone. Go ahead, Lana.
I just wanted to clarify, just going back to Southern Alberta Energy from Waste Association, Deputy Mayor Chapman, will he continue to be alternate for that committee?
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, you can keep me on as the alternate.
Okay. And then the other one I wanted confirmation on, the Southern Alberta Canadier Association, Councillor Reese is listed currently as alternate on that.
I missed that one. Yes, you want to stay on?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, so with that all being done, I need a motion that council reviewed and decided on the allocation of committees and boards to fellow council members for the period of October 28, 2024 to October 26, 2025. Who cares to make that motion? Councillor Beekman. Any further discussion? Seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor? Carried unanimously. And then moving on to, that's where I found the minutes now under information items, the approved council organized. My apologies. Back to what we discussed earlier, I need a motion to appoint Roger Holm to the Green Acres Foundation for the period of October 28th to October 26, 2025. Who cares to make that motion? Councillor Avery. Any further discussion? Seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor? Carried unanimously. Thank you. And then also need a motion to appoint Kim Craig to the Southern Alberta Energy from Waste Committee for the period of October 28th to October 26th. Deputy Mayor Chapman makes that motion. Any further discussion? Seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor? Carried unanimously. Thank you. And moving on to agenda item 12.1 under information items, the approved council organizational minutes from October 23rd. I need someone to make a motion to accept that as information. Councillor Saylor makes that motion. Any further discussion? Seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor? Carried unanimously. Thank you. And then I will require a motion that council will go into closed session at 8:23 p.m. in accordance with section 197-4-B of the Municipal Government Act to discuss matters exempt from disclosure for items 13.1, subject to section 17, personal privacy. Who cares to make that motion? Councillor Pickering.